Hello, hello, and welcome to VANNtastic. I am super excited to be with you today. For just a few minutes, we're going to talk about some debt situations here, see if we can answer some questions. So I'm super excited that we've got just a few minutes here to really see what some of my clients are going through, see if maybe just maybe that it's going to match up to what's going on in your own situation. So let's talk about what a lady who is a retiree. Now, retirees are in a completely different place. They're on a fixed income. So we have to figure it out for the retirees, because if they can do it, anyone can, right? When you've got somebody that's making $2,200 a month and they're trying to get rid of debt, that seems to be somewhat impossible, but we're going to talk about what this is going to look like in her situation. So if her income is $2,200 per month now, how many of you are living out there on $2,200 a month? A few? That's tough. That is super tough in this day and time. So we have to overcome what debt you have with very limited cash flow. I mean, let's talk about this for a second. $2,200 a month. Some of you guys, that's your house payment. So how is a retiree on a fixed income supposed to eat, much less buy their medications? So we have to address every single situation that an American out there may be going through. We deal with people all over the world, but we're talking about the American retiree right now, making $2,200. So let's talk about her debt. Let me pull her worksheet back up here. Okay. So she already has a HELOC. So the HELOC, and this is where she's going to win, because she already has access to a HELOC. That's always a good idea. So 24,490. Let's see, her payment on that is 172, because she's just paying interest, and the interest on this is 8.5%. She has another line of credit that's at the max, 1,500, and that's 50 per month. That's interest. She also has a car loan. Her balance is 14,611. And the payment is 461. She has a credit card. Well, it's her only credit card, but it's $1,106. And her monthly payment is 50. Okay, so 2,200 a month, and she has this debt. So let's add up the debt that she's got. 24,490, 1,500, 14,611, and $1,106. Total debt, 41,707. Now, her food, her gas, her utilities, such as that, is about 1,400 per month. So when you do my worksheet, please be serious about your living expenses. You need to know where your money's going so that we can see how your numbers are going to work during a consultation, okay? So she has about 1,400 in food, gas, utilities. She's living on the edge here, people. She's living on the edge. Are you? Let's see if we can help her get outside of that. So her living expenses here. All right, so let's add up payments. 172. Okay, if I can use my calculator, 172, 50, 461, and 50. So $733 is her monthly payments. Okay, so what else do we have here? What am I missing? Let me see. Let me look at her worksheet again. Okay, that looks good. She has 1,400 in living expenses. That does include her car insurance and her meds. So we've got 1,400 plus 733. So we've got 733 for her monthly payments on her debt. She's got 1,400 in living expenses. And let's be real, this is very, very low. She's doing great. She's doing great because even though she has $42,000 in debt, she's keeping her living expenses low, but she has no choice, right? Because she only brings in $2,200 per month. What can we do to help her free up some cash flow so that she feels like that if she wants to go shopping for new clothes, then she might have, you know, $50, $100 to do that, depending on where she shops, of course. But we're at 2133 for total expenses. Okay. All right. So when we ran her numbers, we talked about, you know, what it would look like, because she was thinking maybe she should just use her credit card and, you know, start there, like I did a live yesterday where we were talking about the credit card debt. But with this situation, I said, what if you were to transfer all of your debt into the HELOC, because she has plenty of room in the HELOC to bring everything into that balance. What do you think that would look like for you? So let's talk about what we saw here. So 41,707 would now be the HELOC balance, the home equity line of credit. Wow, that seems like bigger debt, doesn't it? But what did it do here? Oops. It knocked out every debt she has except for the HELOC. But what does it look like when you run the numbers? Thank you for telling me that, TikTok. I knew that. I don't know why I didn't correct that earlier. I apologize. What does it look like when we run these numbers, though? That's what we're going for. Now, remember, in the videos, you transfer your income into the line of credit because that keeps your balance low. It's called paycheck parking, meaning my paychecks go into my line, keeping the balance low, so I'm not charged as much interest as I would be if this was sitting at the high. Okay? So what happens though to these monthly payments that she had right here? Even her HELOC payment, when she transfers her income into the line, it's satisfied. What? So if she had 2133 in total expenses and she only makes 2,200, that means she only had $67. So 2,200 income and then subtract out the $21.33 in expenses. She only had $67 in cash flow per month. Cash flow meaning after every single thing that you have to pay in a month, even your tithing, even anything you're buying consistently, whatever you're doing in that month with your money needs to be subtracted out of your income so that we know how much cash flow you have. Okay? So with her cash flow being at $67 in this scenario where she's at currently, what's it going to look like when she transfers these other bank tools, pays them off with the HELOC? Well, let's do the numbers. She had $733 in payments that no longer apply. Why? Because she paid off the car, the credit card, and the line of credit. And when her income goes in to this HELOC, it is going to satisfy that payment. So what's her cash flow now? Well, it would be $2,200 minus $1,400, because remember, she is still living, she's still buying food, she's still paying for her gas, she's still paying for subscriptions, you know, her car insurance, all this stuff she had listed on her worksheet. So she's still paying those $1,400, but now this is gone. So now her total living expenses and what she pays out per month went to $1,400. Okay. So what does that mean her cash flow is now? So 2,200 and subtract out the 1,400 is $800. So she no longer has $67 in cash flow. She now has $800. Like that. She already has the HELOC. She was just sitting here spinning her wheels in interest because these three things come with their own interest, right? The credit card's at 29%. So when we pay this stuff off and put it into an 8.5% interest, what does that mean? There's one more thing she had that I did not mention, is she has a small savings account. Now, this wasn't small to me back in the day, but it's smaller compared to what I see today. She has $13,500 in savings that she's literally having to live off of sometimes because her medicine will be more, or, you know, she'll have a car repair or something. So let's just see what these numbers look like. She also said she had some small retirement fund that was about $1,800. So let's talk about, one, how much difference this makes right here, just having some cash flow, having some of that extra that you may need, that you're going to need when the occasion arises or the emergency arises. So let's see what the payoff period is going to be for this line of credit with her having $800 in cash flow. Now, she wanted to take her savings and put into this line, and we talked about it, because she still has about $13,000 available in this line of credit. Okay. No, I lied. Wait, it was only 50,000. So 41,707. She has $8,293 in available funds on this HELOC. Okay. But we don't need that. We're just trying to get her comfortable so that in her retirement years, she can breathe a little bit with cash flow. But is she still going to be able to pay down the HELOC? We don't want to just let the HELOC sit, gaining interest. We want it to pay off as well. So she wants to use her savings and put into the HELOC. Why? Well, there's two reasons. One, it's going to be available to her to use if and when she needs it, just like it's available right now, sitting over there doing nothing. Doing nothing but sitting in a savings account. So what's it going to do for her here? Well, let's run the numbers on 13,500 and take that times 8.5%. That's about $96 a month. So she will be saving $96 per month by putting her savings in here where it's working for her. Wait, will she be drawing $96 a month just for letting it sit here in the savings? Can everybody say it together? No. She wasn't drawing anything for it sitting in savings. Here, it's like all of a sudden her money's growing because she's saving $96 per month. I never could have saved $96 per month in an account because I didn't have it to save. But now, just making this one move, she's going to be able to gain on her savings. You have to change your perspective. You have to change your perspective of what your money's doing. Is it serving you sitting over to the side somewhere? It may not be. That's why you need to review your account, see what it is happening inside of your savings account. And if it's going to serve you to put it into a line that you can draw back out of when you need it, then for goodness sake, make a decision. Okay? So let's go ahead with our numbers. So 41,707, subtracting out 13,500. 28,207. So reason number 2 for this transfer of savings, what is her balance? I mean, we're talking, look how much lower. Is that not going to save her interest on this account? Sure, that's what we're talking about right here when we're running the numbers. That's exactly what it means. 13,500 times 8.5%, going to save her $96 per month. Now, when you're using your account this way, it's important to realize that we didn't just take the savings and throw it in here and call it quits. No. She's going to be transferring her income into this line every single month. She is paid monthly. So let's throw the 2,200 income for month 1 in this line as well. So in one day, she made this much difference in the balance. And then when she gets paid on the 1st or whenever, she's going to bring it down even further. What comes back out of this account, though? If you've seen me do many videos, you're going to see that you have a HELOC or a line of credit, doesn't matter what kind. Then you have your checking. So 2 different accounts, 2 different purposes. The checking is usually and should be with the bank that you have your HELOC. This makes it so easy for doing transfers back and forth. So when she gets paid $2,200, she will transfer $2,200 into this account. So like I showed here, the account was showing $28,207. 2,200 goes in, reduces that balance, saving more interest for that month. Now, what happens with her expenses over here? Remember, she has living expenses of $1,400. So what happens when she needs $100 for the grocery store? She will use her checking account, just like she's doing now. But since this checking account is sitting at a zero balance because she transferred her income into the HELOC, now when she needs $100, she'll transfer it back into the checking account so that she can use it. This again leaves every dime of your income working for you. So what's it going to do for a woman that's almost 70 years old living on retirement? Okay, so I hope you understand this. Let's go on and do some math. Now, her expenses, $1,400, is going to come out throughout the month. So like I said, she's going to buy groceries today. She may stop and get gas tomorrow. She may pay her Netflix the next day. She may pay her car insurance at the end of the month. So throughout the month, this is going to build your fund back up, okay? For you guys who are paid daily, weekly, or bi-weekly, you're going to be throwing your income into this account every single time you're paid. So you're hitting it, expenses coming out. You're hitting it, expenses coming out. I hope that makes sense. So let's move on. See if I left anything off of her worksheet here. I don't think so. All right. So let's add this back in because we're going to pretend it's the end of the month and she has paid all of her expenses and now she's back up to $27,408. We have to add interest. Before you guys sit out there and say, hey, you haven't added the interest. I'm getting ready to add interest, so hold on, okay? So let's do the numbers. The interest is charged by the bank on the average daily balance, okay? So I'm going to start with her high balance, $41,707. I'm going to see her low balance is $26,007. And then what she's going to be at when she pays her expenses back out, which is $27,407. Divide that by 3. So her average daily balance is going to be about $31,707. So now we're going to take this times the interest rate. So 31,707 times 8.5% equals, let's just do it, 8.5% is $26,9509. But this is for the whole year. If you want to know what you're paying monthly, you would divide this by 12. So let's do it. So $224.59 would be the monthly insurance charge for an account that the average daily balance came to about $31,707. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now, let's take the interest, add it into this, which we're going to say $225 in interest. So adding in interest to 25. Okay, so 27,732 would be her balance starting into the second month. What happens in the second month? Her income goes in again. Okay, so let's do the numbers. 25,532. Then we're going to bring her expenses back out, 1,400. $26,932. Do you see how she's going down in her balance every month? She's going to keep doing this until it pays off. And she's going to have extra expenses come in that will keep the line of credit fluctuating. That's common sense. We live in a world where there's things that pop up that we have to pay. But the idea is that this account is going to save her so much in interest. It's going to save her so much time on debt elimination that she's going to be excited about her finances now that she's not paying $733 out in monthly payments everywhere. I dealt with a couple earlier, and they literally had about $14,000 a month going out in debt payments. Ouch. Yes, they made about $20,000. But $13,000 in debt payments? And when we ran their numbers, they look great as well. So, how long is it going to take her to pay this off doing this way? You may be asking. Well, if you take 20, let's see, we'll take her income, 2,200. And then we're going to subtract out what her expenses are. So I think it was 800. Let's do it again. Okay, so 800. And then we have to subtract out the interest. So her high interest is going to be 225. I'm going to divide that by 2 because this interest here, let's just calculate this first because you need to know what the interest is going to look like. So we're going to take where were we? 25 after her income goes in. Her high is 27,732. And then her low is 25,532. And then her after her expenses come out was 26,932. Divide that by 3. So 26,732 would be her average daily balance times 8.5%. Don't you love the way I do these whiteboards? You just kind of like turn your head this way and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Times 8.5% divided by 12, $190. Look how the interest is starting to drop out month by month. Okay, so that being said, let's take 190. Well, we won't even add it in there because we're going to do a complete payoff. So let's do the average interest from beginning to end on this HELOC paying it off. So I'm going to take 225 divided by 2. So 113 average interest. So 800, subtract out 113, 687. Okay. Now, her cash flow on average throughout the payoff period of this HELOC at 28,207 after she puts her savings in We'll just divide this. So we're going to take the 687 cash flow she has, divide it into this 28,207. So 28,207 divided by 687. Do you guys seen this? 41 months she's going to be out of debt. 41 months she's going to be out of debt. And guess what? She has cash flow starting as soon as she does this. So she went from $67 in cash flow to $800 just by doing the transfer. And now she's going to be completely paid out of 41,707 in 41 months, just using the line of credit the way it was designed to be used. What are you doing wrong, maybe right now, that you could tweak and absolutely change your financial life? I want you guys to get excited about your numbers. You may feel like you can't do anything with $2,200. Maybe you make $22,000 a month and you're struggling. I see it every day. Doesn't matter how much money you make, it's how much do you keep. We're trying to keep the interest that they would regularly be charging us by just using another tool at the bank and using it correctly. I hope that this makes so much sense to you. I hope that you're changing your mindset. I hope that this is becoming clear, because I know it's a mindset. We're taught to make payments, make payments, make payments. Just make your payments, just make your payments, just make your payments. Right? And it's all going to be okay. No, people. It's stealing your wealth. It's stealing your wealth, your future. So I was working with a person yesterday that had $5,500 per month going out in debt payments. When we did the calculations of what the interest was in that $5,500 a month that she's paying, do you know that $4,000 of that was interest only? What could you do with $4,000 a month that you're not just throwing away? You need to think. After seeing these videos, VANNtastic on YouTube has every video that you need to know to get your situation in control. Wow, that rhymed. The idea is I have so many scenarios on the YouTube channel that one of them has to hit close to home. And my idea is that if I can keep putting examples out there, that you're going to find one that meets pretty close to where you're at. And then you don't need consultations. You certainly don't need to hire a financial advisor. You don't need to hire a guru. You don't need to hire me. You need to watch a video. They're free. Watch a video, watch 10 videos, and learn how to handle your finances. It's so easy. Oh my gosh, you think making payments is easy? No, people struggle with making payments. We're tired of that. If you are wanting, $100 per month, some of you parents out there, and I'm in your situation, I know exactly what that felt like, being a single parent, one income, no child support. What are you going to do? Because you're broke. Do you know that if I had had this back in the day, that I could have changed our whole lives at that time? Do you know that $100 in interest savings per month would have given me more than enough to take my kids bowling once a month? To take them to see a movie once a month and not be stressed out? To buy them tennis shoes for school? This is just math. It's not magic. But it could be all that you've been looking for. So I want you to get excited. I want you to watch videos. I want you to get super excited because you're going to be absolutely amazed, probably, when you figure this out for yourself. Okay? So let me see here. Oh, I wanted to thank the Valors for sending me coffee that I've never heard of before out of their coffee shop. Thank you so much. I can't wait to try that in the morning. So they sent me this big old pack. I don't have it down here, or I'd show it to you. But it was so super sweet of you to send me the coffee. If I love it, I'm going to show it on the YouTube channel and say you've got to have this coffee. But I haven't done that yet, so I can't show it because I try to be real with everybody so that I'm telling the truth. But I want you guys, first of all, we're having the Labor Day Financial Mastery that starts September the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited about that. I want you to be excited because I'm going to name who we have there. We've got JJ the CPA going to come and talk to us about taxes. These are all my friends, by the way. These are not somebody that I've hired to come in. These are not people that's paid me to come in. These are my friends that I work with, almost some of them on a daily basis. So they're going to be joining me on September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd to have some real life conversations about things that's going to help you get out of debt and build wealth. Okay? So, like I said, JJ the CPA, tax guy, if saving on your taxes doesn't save you a fortune, nothing will. The IRS is, ugh, I don't want to talk about them. But we have to really, really get away from the tax side of things. So legally, he's going to show us how to do that, even in your business. So he's going to talk about the S Corp, the LLC, and your personal taxes. We've got Chris Ogle. He's going to be talking to us about the infinite banking concept. He also has a mutual surprise here. Super excited about what we're going to be talking about on that day. We're going to have the Money Max creator. He's going to be with us. Super excited about him. They've done a lot of good work with Money Max debt elimination. We're going to have Brent Carlson. He has taught me how you set up trust, how they work, what that looks like. So if you're interested in anything to do with trust, setting up an LLC, he can help you. Alex Albaran is going to be with us. You all know he is like a really, really big heart to me because he's been my right-hand man since I started VANNtastic. I love him. He's going to talk about what we did, which was setting up VANNtastic, what that looked like, and how that works. Then we're going to be talking to my personal coach. He's called High Performance. I've been working with him for about 14 weeks now, maybe more. And wow, love him. He's got all kinds of ideas on really, really getting yourself, your mind in shape. I really love our conversations. Yes, that is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be recorded. So you can feel free to join that. I'll put that on here on the YouTube channel in the chat and underneath the video so that you will know. Oh, we're also going to have the first lien lenders with us. So they're going to be talking about the HELOC, what that looks like, what the requirements are to qualify. So that's super good information. And I'm going to put Labor Day in here so you guys will know what this is for. I'll also have it under the video, so don't stress if you don't see it in the YouTube chat. Plastique, I haven't used Plastique since I first started Velocity Banking, so I don't know how they work anymore. I don't know if they work anymore. So please check into that really good. I've heard they still charge a fee to use the card, but I used it because sometimes it was better to have that out of a credit card paying the fee than it was the debt I was in. Okay. So, join us for the Labor Day Financial Mastery if you can. I gave a list of the people that's going to be there. It's going to be exciting. Last year's was absolutely awesome. Absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to do it again. Last thing before I go, I want you guys to think about your giving. When you're talking about finances, I got God involved because He is my source. He is my provider. Never had a man around the house that was the provider. So guess what? Me and the Lord worked together on that. And wow, I'll just tell you, my giving, when it increased, my income increased. Then I took Velocity Banking as well, worked it all together out of debt in a very, very little time. Thank you, Lord. That's all I want to say, because my God supplies all of my needs according to His riches and glory, not mine. So I could always count on Him to make sure I had income flowing and giving me more ideas on how to bring in income. But you can make, like the people I work with, $75,000 a month. And if you're not using the bank correctly, you can be paying out $75,000 a month. So it's not what you make, people. It's not what you're bringing in. Don't let anybody fool you out here on YouTube telling you that you need to get a second job. The only time you need a second job is when you really have no money coming in from the first one and you can't afford to eat. Okay? Just be sure that you realize that it could just be the way you're banking. You don't need to leave your children any more than you already are. If you're leaving your kids for an 8-hour day to go to work, then leaving them for another 8 hours is not going to help you, because obviously there's another problem and that's it. Okay, so I want you all to get excited about using the bank. Once you use the bank correctly, you could see things really open up that you never dreamed were possible. And I want you to be excited about that. Okay, so I've really covered a lot here. If you don't, if you were catching in late and you don't understand what we've been talking about, please go back, watch this live on YouTube, and get caught up, because I'm telling you, it's going to change your life when you get your finances under control. And I want everybody to be happy. I want to bring joy and peace. It's time we have some joy and peace, right? And I want you to have that. Okay, I'm going to jump off of here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm excited to spend this time with you. I appreciate you so much. I read your comments and I try to comment every single one I can in a day. But I get the comments where you're watching the channel and you're so thankful and you give me numbers and how much debt you've paid off, and it just fulfills my heart. and my life knowing that you guys are doing well. So keep sharing the good things that's happened in your life using Velocity Banking. And, if you have a question, I'll try to get to it and answer it. I'm not able to do that. But if it's a basic question, I try to answer them. A credit score of about 680 average is needed for the HELOC. Oh, welcome, Nidra. Thank you so much. I just appreciate you guys. Everybody is so precious and good. And you know what? If you're a naysayer, be very, very aware. I don't even look at your comments. I don't even care what you have to say. I'm not out here to do anything but bring people some peace and to show them another way. So I hope you're doing it. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. And you know what? Get with the Lord. You can't go wrong when you're with Him. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.